Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing? One episode closer to the big 300, big old fat old number. Anyway, today, if you could not tell by the description, we are here to talk about the new modular building. I was privy enough to get an early review copy from the Lego group. Thank you so much for that, you kind folks over in Denmark. So here are the facts, the stats, the things you need to know before you elect to purchase it, which most of you have the modular syndrome and you just cannot walk away. So the set is called Jazz Club. Simple as that. 10312 is its set number if you are trying to Google it at the moment. 2,899 pieces is the part count that is important to you. And the price tag, which is also important, well, it's 230 euro. It's 230 USD. So that is definitely something that makes a big difference for most people. So yes. Also, it is 200 British pounds, I guess. Is it just British pounds or is it pounds? Anyway, that is what we are working with here. This thing is available January 1st, 2023. So hopefully by the time you're hearing this, it is the new year and we celebrate something new and awesome, a brand new year. Anyway, let's go ahead and try and break this down. I'm likely not going to be able to give it the true justice this thing deserves, but we'll see what happens. So, first thing you notice about this is its very unique color scheme. It is something that we have not seen before. Now, to me, somebody that is infatuated with all kinds of different color, you look in my closet, especially when I was a classroom teacher, pinks and blues and different purples and yellows and all kinds of colors. Doesn't matter. Very much vibrant, very much unique, and, well, you get a very, very different color palette than what you would typically expect for a modular. A lot of people tend to think, well, your modular color, you should stay kind of relative to, the darker, earthy type tones. Well, that is not the case here. This thing really steps outside with the nice cool yellow that they use here to the medium azure color that they've got going on. You have your dark, that dark red color that they premiered over a year ago at this point in time. And you just have a really different perspective from this modular than some of the others. Now, what I mean by that is this. When you look at this thing from the front, you notice the facade, obviously, but then you also notice how, well, the Jazz Club entrance kind of crops out into the sidewalk, kind of sticks all out there. And then you notice like with the Taylor and the pizzeria and that whole section, how it's recessed in comparison to the other build. Now, I have heard a lot of people moaning and groaning on social media about it. Just do one, because of the color palette, and two, because of the lack of size in the second building, the adjacent building to the Jazz Club, which, different strokes, different folks, everybody has their own opinion, and I appreciate everybody's opinion, no matter whether I think it's good or not. It is your opinion. It is my opinion. It is Sue Bob's opinion, whoever else down the street or over in another country. Anyway, base level of this thing, you've got that azure color that is going on. It is so pretty. And then it comes up with that orangish yellow that we've got going on here. Now, mind you, there are no stickers. If you are new to modulars, if this is the first time you are hearing a modular, get in the game because you got to catch up. Anyway, there are no stickers in modular sets. There are only prints. So, above the entrance to the Jazz Club, you have the big old, fat old Jazz Club sign, which is on two very large tiles. The color actually looks really good with that darker blue tile. But just below that, what you end up having is you have two other tiles in similar length here. Live music all night and magic show, because there is a magician here. And as you go through the instructions, you realize, oh, there's a magician, because, when the jazz is over, people can go watch a magic show and have a lot of fun doing that. So there's one on each side of that. You have a nice little 90-degree angle here at the front corner, and then a 45 that obviously it backs into the building from your vantage point anyway. But right underneath that, you have some tiling that goes on. This is your ticket stand that you are getting your tickets to the beautiful jazz club, which is gorgeous in its own right. You got some lights that are hanging up outside. You've got dual paneled windows here. You have another door/window/tile piece that is here, and this has jazz concert, and it tells you about music. Every Friday there's live music. So on this part of the building, we're going to go directly straight up. We're going to go up to the second floor here. Now, this is where it changed from the light bluish gray and the azure color up to that dark red, which is everybody's favorite color at this point in time. Well, maybe not everybody's, but it is one of my favorite colors for certain. So you move up that level. You have brick-built stained glass windows. They are really cool. You have them on both levels here, this level and then the top level, well, excluding the roof. So you have some really unique details with as far as how they get some of this texturing on the outside. Anderson, the designer here, the lead designer here, managed to use the 1x1 bricks that have a stud on the top, but a stud on the front that is open, and it is slightly recessed, and it has a hole in it. So what you have here is instead of having these tiles, these brown tiles, these darker brown tiles to go with the dark red, instead of having them just simply stick out even further, they are slightly recessed into the facade of the building because of that part, that 1x1 brick, which it makes it so much nicer because, first of all, they're not moving constantly. If you recall back, I think it was 2 modulars ago, when you had those tiles, the 1x1s and then the 1x2s, that you constantly had to manipulate them and stuff like that just to make sure they were in the perfect position. This is physically put into position because of the bricks, plates, everything above and below it. Perfect. Now, the windows are kind of unique as well. Again, studs on the side type plate, modified plate here that is used, and you just put your tiles down the inside slots of the window, so you get that nice clean cutout instead of having it backed up with bricks and plates and stuff like that. You get this nice clean line the whole way down. So what we have in the center of this here on each side of those windows, by the way, one of the windows has a plant in it, but you have these big giant windows. I don't think they're cathedral-esque windows, but they are very, very large, tall windows that run the entire height of the next 2 floors. So as we move up to the facade for the 3rd floor, what you end up noticing is you've got this little awning that kind of sticks out over what would be a faux balcony. It's not a real balcony because of the windows there. Again, stained glass, but it really looks gorgeous. Another flower in the window. The build is identical to the floor below. Not so much repetitive as it is, a requirement. It is a necessary type evil to be able to have. Now, on the side of that part of that building, of the jazz club, that main building, there is a doorway. It exits to the roof of the next building, the adjacent building, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But then we move up to the roof. The roof section, quite simple. Not a whole lot's going on here. Some nice decoration that you have here. You have some wheel well pieces to give some nice little texture, some curvature to the rooftop instead of it kind of being completely bland. One of those pieces is actually upside down, which is kind of unique, and it's almost like it has a rocket stuck in the top of it. But nice little texture, decor design to go on there. Now on the very top of the roof, because this is the only time I'm going to talk about the top of the roof, You have a door that opens up into the roof, to the top of the roof. And it's nice. It allows you to get access up there. Maybe you just want to go hang out. There's really not much up here, but there is a nice brick-built squirrel's nest, and you have a little brown squirrel that's here, a nougaty squirrel. Sounds like something I want to eat, a nougaty squirrel. So you do have that. You do have your little squirrel that's hanging out on top of the building. Now I want to go ahead and turn your attention to the opposite side, the adjacent side. And then we'll go ahead and get into the back of what we can see with these buildings. But before we do that, out in front of the pizzeria, you have a table and you have 2 chairs, and then there's the lamppost. You can eat your pizza right out there if you so choose. Now, this building, it is a small building, very, very tiny. You have your tailor shop, you have a greenhouse on a roof, and you also have your pizzeria. So let's go ahead and discuss what we see here. You have a 2x2 round tile that has the word Taylor on it, established 1932. You have some brick built red, green, and white awnings for the pizza shop. Mind you, this is in cool yellow, so that definitely stands out already with the cool yellow, but most definitely stands out even more so with those brick built awnings. You have a little I forget what these are called, but the people that grow flowers on these, I guess it's kind of like a lattice. It doesn't really look like a lattice. It looks like a brick built door, but it's a version of a lattice. So you do have that. That is just out in front. So kind of unique, almost kind of fits an Italian vibe to a certain degree, but you got some flowers on there as well. There is a door just prior to walking into the pizzeria, because that is how you get up to the tailor shop, which we will talk about when we take this thing apart and look inside. But moving up to the second floor, you have 2 faux balconies yet again. Nice parts usage here to be able to get that. Then we have 3 hanging plants and planters that are out here. Those are actually really nice with the columns. There's a few columns that they use on the bottom, and then some of these, solid column pieces here as well. The windows are really nice that you have here. You have some arched windows, and then you also have some standard Lego rectangular windows. As we move up to the roof section, you have a nice little outcropping here of the roof section here. This is in white, by the way. Just some details and stuff. A lot of tiles that are going on here. Some specific pieces that are used to be able to get this. And then you have your chimney that sticks out the top, which attaches to the pizzeria down in the belly of the build, which we'll get to. But the coolest thing about this section is you have a greenhouse, a brick-built greenhouse on the roof. Inside, you got carrots. You got other things that you might use, like tomatoes for your tomato sauce. You've got other greenery pieces that are in here for whatever you may be putting on pizza. Now, it does tell you in the booklet that the carrot is reserved for a special guest. It is reserved for the rabbit, the magician's rabbit, which is really cute, by the way. So that is what the front of the outside looks like. Let's go ahead and flip this puppy around to the rear to be able to see what we get here. Now, on the back end of this, let's just go ahead and go from the top down. On the yellow side, which is the pizzeria and stuff, you've got some vents that are sticking out. Windows in the front are identical to the windows in the rear. They are just spaced a little bit closer together. As you get down to the bottom, in between the 2 buildings, you have a little brick-built, it's windows here actually that are used, but this is supposed to be where you keep your firewood for your fired pizza oven. It's awesome. And then there's a little door that is down here at the bottom to the pizzeria, a little bit of light. Then we move up to the second floor here because I went down. Now I'm coming back up. I apologize. But what you have is you have some windows into where the manager's office is for the jazz club. You can kind of see nice big windows. Those can actually open. The bottom ones can open out. Then you have a balcony with a door. It's an actual balcony where you can stand a minifig. There are 2 studs deep, so you do have that. Moving up to the 3rd floor, you have a little bit of slopage that's going on here, from the windows down. The windows here, there are 3 of them, and then the dual windows up above that. But the 3 bottom windows are able to be opened as the other windows that we just discussed. All right, Aruni. So we are now in the belly of the beast. We are down on the bottom level. Let's go ahead and talk about the Jazz Club because there is a lot going on inside the Jazz Club. Once you enter into the Jazz Club from the first floor at the ticket office, there's a door you enter into on your right. Come through there and, well, there is another door. There is a door to a restroom. There's a potty for you if you need to use it. It is kind of cramped, so do be careful in there. There's not a whole lot of room. It is underneath the staircase up to the tailor shop, I guess, if you will. Anyway, down inside the Jazz Club, really nice coloring that is going on in here, a darker nougat color in here, which you would kind of expect. You've got brick-built lamps that are hanging on the walls, little sconce type lamps that are hanging. You have 3 tables with 2 chairs at each. Not a whole lot of room to pose minifigs. Frankly, I found it a little bit tight to be able to get everything in there, but it does work. It's not horrible. Now there is a doorway, an entryway into the pizza, shop right there, which is kind of bizarre. I'm like, you have a Jazz Club open to the pizza room? All right, let's go. It must be intoxicating smell in there. So then we move to the main focus here, and this is one of my favorite details. This is the first time a 45-degree angle has been done in a modular. Thank you, Anderson. Fantastic. So what you have in here, a bunch of jumper plates that are essentially used to be able to get this to its position. The cool thing about it is he and the team chose to have the actual stage, or not the stage stays in position, but the curtains, these are brick-built curtains with lights that are hanging off, they actually clip into position and can be removed. And it says in the instructions, simply so that you can reset where everybody's on the band and everything like that. You do have a little brick-built drum kit back here. You have a saxophone that is chilling on a stand. You got a bass player minifig, which we'll talk about along with the drummer minifig. We will talk about those later. But he has a brick-built case for his bass on his back. I absolutely love that. So I'm going to plop her back in there. The stage is all black. It's, a few plates tall, probably about a brick tall, which is 3 plates if you're not familiar with that. We'll clip this thing back into place at the moment. Anyway, so that is essentially what your Jazz Club looks like. Got a little bit ahead of myself. So if you were to enter into the pizza area, because by the way, these are all attached, so it's not like you're really taking anything apart here. You can't separate these. As you cross into there, or you enter from the front door into the pizzeria, your choice, you are running into, this beautifully brick-built oven, this pizza or wood-fired pizza oven that they got going on. Really nice texture, really nice design of this. I'm a big fan of it. You've got an oar for your little pizza paddle. You've got a shelf above that where you have different ingredients. It could be Parmesan. One of these is definitely olive oil. I prefer red pepper flakes for the other one. So that's what I'm going to refer it as. Potentially, maybe not. Anyway, then you've got your fresh ingredients that are chilling here. You've got your sausage, you've got your cheese, and you've got what is supposed to be, I'm assuming, a green pepper. I'm a green pepper person and onions. I don't like anything else on my pizza. That's just me. He's got a pizza dough that he's working on, which is a tile. Then he has another pizza that is ready to go. And instead of just making a 2x2 tile that is printed, they actually did 4 quarter tiles to be able to accomplish this. And frankly, I like that a little bit better. If I'm not mistaken, the instructions had mentioned, then, you can either take it as a whole or you can take it slice by slice, which, why wouldn't you want to do that? So you do have that. You do have a cash register here, an old school cash register. I shouldn't say super old school because there is a kind of it's a diner that my wife and I like to go to from time to time. And they have an old school, if you will, cash register like this. It's kind of unique. Anyway, you have some more stuff that is hanging out here. This could be garlic powder. It could be Parmesan cheese. It could be, something else. And then you have another red container, which I guess that could be the red pepper flakes, whatever. So you do have that. Now, Before we move up to the second level, I did mention, like I said, that there is a door to the tailor shop. It is just in front of the pizza door. So I'm going to close the pizza door. Not that it matters because that door closes in and this one pulls out. And all you have is a giant staircase, a really steep staircase. They use the 1x3 jumper here that has the 2 open studs on it. So walking up the stairs, and then we're going to enter into the second floor. Before we do that, I've got to take a quick break. I'm up against the break wall here, so we'll be back in a moment. Well, now that we're back from break, let's go ahead and continue onward here. As I had mentioned, we were at the staircase where the tailor shop was. Let's continue from there, shall we? So, as you exit the staircase, you have another staircase that is coming up above you, which we'll talk about that here when we move up to the next floor. But before we enter into the tailor shop, you have a few different options. You have 3 doors to choose from. Can you imagine? At least you know where the tailor shop is because it does have that nice little soft purple lavender color that they have here. So it matches the sign. It matches the door downstairs. You know straight where you're going. There's also a door directly in front of you that leads to the balcony, which, you can go hang out on. Or there's a door to the left. As I came up the stairs, it would be your left. And there is a brick-built rug that is here. If I can get it, there we go. Open that, and that leads you to the jazz club owner's office. Cool little office that she's got going on in there. We'll talk about it in a moment. So one of my favorite little builds in here is the sewing machine. The tailor's sewing machine was absolutely exquisite. One of the coolest things the cool mini builds that I have seen in some time. Those are the kind of things that I don't build well, but I love watching tutorials on those. Just really, really cool stuff. So you have your sewing machine that's actually sewing something right there. You have your little chair that you can sit on. There's actually foot pedals that are built into this. They don't actually work, but that is kind of neat. You have a lamp that is here. By the way, this is an old style sewing machine. I don't know if you're familiar. I love sewing. I don't have a sewing machine any longer, but my grandmother-in-law, there we go. I knew it was going to come out eventually. She's got this whole entire floor of their home that is just sewing and quilting machines. It's like my favorite place to be. Anyway, so then you also have, next to the lamp, you have where the chimney stack is coming up. There's a little vent here. So, maybe some heat coming off of there, but also, can you imagine the aroma coming up in there? I could work in there and smell pizza all day. I'd be a little fatty because I'd be eating pizza all day and walking downstairs. Can I have another one, please? So on the back wall here, which is to the very rear of the modular, you have another little chest that is built here. And then you have some spindles that are sticking up. They are just axles, Technic axles that are here. And they have different colors on here. It's supposed to be the fabric. It's a nice little addition here. And then you also have a mannequin, like a torso mannequin. It's not an actual minifig torso, but it's supposed to be like a torso. It's a 1x1 brick and has some tiles on the sides and on the top for arms, neck, head, whatever you want to call it. So I like that. That is really cool. It's a nice little space. There's enough here in there to make it feel good without it feeling overcrowded. I think if anything else were put in here, it would just be too much. So we're going to cross the hall and we're going to go back to the manager's office here. And inside the manager's office, like I said, when you walk through that door, you walk up the stairs and walk to the left, what you have is you have this gaping hole that is down to the first floor. That is the music rising up into there. So you have a little balcony going on here with railings the whole way around it. Really cool. 45-degree angle again. Anderson, keeping with it. Love it. Then you have this very unique brick-built desk. Again, 45-degree angle, but it's also curved. This is such a fascinating little build. A lot of studs on the side here. Really interesting. Using some ingot pieces on the ends of the desk. I really, really like this. You got a brick-built chair here, not just a standard chair, in the teal color for her. You've got an old school style phone that is going on here with the actual handset on top of the phone here. And then there is a chair for somebody coming up to chat with her. It could be one of the musicians that she's looking to hire, or maybe the magician's in there hanging out, or maybe the tailor's in there, just listening to some tunes. But in the back corner behind her desk, you have this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous record player, old school record player. It's going on with kind of like the megaphone that sticks out the top. Absolutely gorgeous. You do have a vinyl record that is a 2x2 that is printed there, 2x2 round. You have some artwork up on the wall. They make mention to the art gallery, I believe is what it was, on the other modular. Some really cool stuff here. Really like it. So you exit there. You're going back into the stairwell. You're taking the stairs. You're like, I'm going up top. Let's see what we're doing next. Because there's always something to do in a modular. So we've trucked up those stairs, or man, I just raced up those stairs as fast as I could. Can't you tell? I'm not out of breath. I'm like, I'm good. No, I'm totally kidding. Anyway, so we exit the stairs. Now you can go 2.5 different ways. So you see this beautiful plant that is in the window here. You can pop that window open, get some fresh air in there, or you can take the door to the right. That leads you to the rooftop, which we know is or to the right, yes, that rooftop that has the beautiful greenhouse on top. Sorry, I'm a giant plant and garden nerd, so I love greenhouses. I just do. Anyway, so we're not going to go that way. We've already talked about the greenhouse, but we are going to take a slight detour here in a moment because we've got to be able to get up to the very top of the rooftop of the jazz club. And there is a little ladder hanging down. It's not brick built, but it is that solid ladder piece. But let's not go there just yet. Let's go ahead and go into this next room. And what we have in here is you have your singer, your performer for the jazz club here. Love this print, which we'll talk about here shortly. But what she has in here, she has a really, really nice brick built yellow couch. Very nice color choice there. Love it up against the dark red. There's an art piece above that. Beautiful in its own right. And then next to that, you have a music stand that has a square 2x2 tile that has music on it. You've got the notes on there. And then you have a little chest, if you will, something where she could, put whatever, her microphone or something like that. But spin that around. And here's what you've got. You have this nice dress area, the mirror, this beautiful mirrored tile, gorgeous in the way that it's done. I was so thankful it was not scratched, beyond thankful. Anyway, so you have this little desk here where she's sitting. It's got a hairbrush that's actually clipped into place, so you don't have to worry about losing it. Thank God, because that's always a thing with modulars. There's always one minifig character that gets something, and it always gets lost. Well, not always, but it gets misplaced. It's got the lights around the mirror as well. They use trans yellow tiles here, which is, that's fine. A lot of floor space in here, but I understand why. She is wearing a dress, so it does take up 4 studs to place her anywhere. So I do understand that. So let's go ahead and leave there. We're not going downstairs. We're going to go to this little ladder that's hanging on the wall. Of all places, climb up that ladder. You open the roof hatch, and then you're back on top of the roof, and you get to say hi to your buddy. The little squirrel that's hanging up there. Probably should name him or her. I really want a squirrel baby now. I think I've got squirrel baby somewhere. I'm going to need to find a squirrel baby and put up here. But I love that nest. Okay, let's talk about minifigs now. And then we can talk about the whole thing. We can talk about prize, whatever. Let's talk about minifigs. So I'm going to save my favorite minifig for last, but I'm going to start with the pizza guy. Love the pizza guy. Big old white beard. Just an old pizza making fool. Kind of got a chef's outfit on, plain white pants, plain white top, other than the print for the little red scarf, and then the buttons. He comes obviously with his pizza wand, where he's shoving in those pizzas, the paddle that he comes with. Nothing major with him. Then we have the jazz club manager. She has got some nice color choice here with her print. She does have a unique face, so she's not young. At first glance, you might think, oh, that's a minifig face you've seen before, and we probably have. but not as often. It's an older minifig face. It is denoted by kind of like the crow's feet around the eyes. I kind of like that. And the smile lines are a little bit more defined on the side of the mouth. It's kind of neat. She's got a bun hairpiece, only one face, by the way, but she's got this nice little blue jacket that she's wearing. Some kind of, I'm gonna take a guess. Is this a camisole? I'm going to try and use bigger words for clothing of females that I have no idea what it's called. To me, it's a shirt. Anyway, so you can see a little bit of the top just below her neck. Doesn't look that great. The yellow printed on this blue, kind of a little bit weird. Anyway, but she doesn't have any print on her legs. Let's talk about the Taylor guy. Love this guy. He's got a standard print for his face that we have seen many times with the just like that kind of like 5 o'clock shadow. He's coming with some scissors. He's got a red shirt, tie, suspenders, and the suspenders are obviously crossed in the back. Nice little minifig to get there. Your pizza delivery dude comes with a little moped pizza box on top, a 2x2 printed pizza tile box. He has got some spiky hair that's going on. Red pants and the dark forest green color of the jacket for his torso. Love that. And then he's got a striped, vertically kind of striped shirt on underneath. Can't really tell exactly the color because I don't think the printing went as great. It looks more silvery than white. But anyway, then we have our magician. I love the magician. This is my favorite. I was going to save it till last, but I love the magician. So the magician, she's got a beautiful blonde hairpiece that is going on here. She is in all black, wearing this kind of almost type of suit with a white shirt underneath. And her extras are incredible. It comes with a hat that has flowers in it, because pulling flowers out of the hat, you could remove those and pretend you're pulling the rabbit out of the hat, which is a little white rabbit. And then you can also have the scarves. There are 3 slope pieces that are built together here that give you pulling scarves out. You know, I think that's kind of neat. Then we move on to the singer of this, the jazz singer, the beautiful lady here. Again, she has that dress, that brick dress piece, those minifig dress legs, if you will, that have 4 studs that can attach in the bottom. Beautifully done in black. She's got yellow arms, the yellow printing on the back and her neck, where you would see her lower back and kind of just below her neck don't really look that great because you're printing on black, but the gold and the silver that they have going on here with some of the white, I love this print of her dress. It's gorgeous. It's almost CMF style-esque, maybe not as great. A standard minifig face we've seen before, where you have a smiling on one side and then the other side, her eyes are closed and she's smiling. I imagine this is where she's singing. She comes with a microphone, of course. Why would she not? Then we move on to your drummer lady. She is wearing this nice old jacket that she's got. Same print for the bass player, which we'll talk about next. She has 2 drumsticks. These are interesting because these are made from the wand pieces. She only has one face. She is wearing glasses and she does have a brunette ponytail that she has going on. I do, however, like the printing on the blue. You've got some nice silver that's going on here, some nice little detail that comes across quite well. So we move on to probably my favorite build, minifig build, scaled build here. But the minifig that we got to talk about first is you've got your dude here. He is your bass player. He's got your big old bass that he'd be strumming on during the jazz club performance that's going on. He's got something that almost kind of looks like a hairpiece, a hair hat that's going on there. It looks more like a toupee. A hair hat, what is that from? You lost your hair hat there. I think it's from Seinfeld. Anyway, he does have a cochlear implant on the one side. He does have a goatee. A nice, deep, jet black goatee. Anyway, but he does have this little piece that is attached around his neck that comes around to the back, has a little stud on it, and that is how you attach his brick-built bass that he is carrying around, which is mean, it's nice. It's a nice little extra to have. It does have a lot of weight to it. It does not sit the prettiest. He kind of leans back with it as you attach it. Not bad, but a cool little build overall. So those are your minifigs. Plethora of them. You get a big old fat chunk of 8 of them. You get 2 animals in here. You get a pizza oven. You get a really cool jazz club. You get a bunch of cool printed tiles, whether or not they're for you or not. They are there for you. So as a whole, I think if you are a modular fan, you're probably still going to be a modular fan. If you are somebody that's a little bit more hypercritical about colors and color palettes with some things, especially because the modular community they're very picky. They are very, very picky. So I don't know that it's going to be for everybody. If you're a modular collector through and through, I don't think it matters. But if you're somebody that is really looking for a modular because you like how it's done, you may like this. If you're somebody that chooses based on color, it might not fit you, honestly. It just might not fit you. The building techniques that were used in here for some of, like I already told you about the facade in the front of the Jazz Club, I thought was great. Some of the plants and stuff, the way they're hung is awesome. The 45-degree angles that Anderson used in multiple different spots in this modular, I thought was fantastic. The entrance, how the entrance is built, how it basically just sits there on its own and is, clipped into place from up top with some lengthy tiles was ingenious. We've seen something similar to that with stairs with modulars before, but this is a whole different kind of ballgame that we have going on. I am a giant fan of modulars. I thought this modular was a lot of fun. It adds a different color palette for me. The cool yellow, I love this color of yellow. It always works for me. As far as price goes, I mean, you're looking at almost 3,000 pieces, $230. I think that's pretty solid, frankly. You're looking at a 8-cent price point here for each piece. I think that works. But for me, I love it. I think it's a fantastic build. I think you guys will absolutely adore this thing because it is different. It is fun. It is vibrant. It is exciting. And then there are going to be people that are going to be naysayers, and that's fine. They have that right. So before we get out of here with this, I'm going to put this thing back together. I do have an interview coming up. It's going to be coming up here in about the next week with Tiago Catarino. If you know anything about Tiago has a YouTube channel, which I'll link to that in that episode. But Tiago has a YouTube channel. He used to be a Lego designer for, I believe, 3 or 4 years. You'll find out. But he came on, told me about his story, and then we talked about the module a little bit because I wanted to get his perspective as he was a employee, he was a designer at Lego, and you just learn different things than just being somebody like myself. He's got a different background knowledge, a different set of understanding than I do. So I think you guys will really enjoy that. So that'll be coming in the next week. And so I'm going to jump out of here. I am just going to go sit this up on my shelf and pose my minifigs and just be happy with it. And hopefully you will too. Hopefully you are able to afford it, pick it up January 1st, or if you got to wait down the line, let me know what you think. I love hearing comments. I love hearing emails, and especially when it comes to sets like this, whether you want to buy it or not. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.